Hey everyone, how you doing? This is Amon Green, Green Bay Packers all-time leading rusher, and you're watching Packers Total Access Live, your daily source for Packer content. Go Pack, go!
What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. Flying solo as of the moment. We'll see if the guys jump in here. We did a long stream this morning for a little Victory Monday celebration, and the reality is Victory Monday rolls on. So we're going to dive into a bunch of topics tonight. For those of you who missed the morning show or the updates that we did there mid-afternoon, I guess you could say, we got an update on Josh Jacobs. Matt LaFleur spoke on it. We'll give you guys the details there. We'll also talk a little Jordan Love and how he's really, really turned the corner in terms of, I don't know. It just seems like you've seen the ups and downs this year. There's way more ups than there are downs, and now you're starting to see him step into a whole different level of play, which is really, really exciting. We'll break down all that, several different statistics, multiple people on X tweeting out about Jordan Love. We'll give you all that detail. We'll also talk about the wide receiver room a little bit. We'll show you a little bit of tape, a little preview for Chalk Talk tomorrow. We'll break that down. Obviously, we got 16 plays to dive into tomorrow. We'll also talk a little bit about the DB room. You know, you got people like Carrington Valentine, Javon Bullard that are truly stepping up now. And thank you, man. And he come up here and shut the door. See, I forget stuff all the time. So we're diving into all that stuff as well as the PFF grades as a whole. But before we do, if you guys would, do that YouTube stuff for me. Hit like, hit subscribe. If this is your first time tuning into PTA, welcome. Thank you for making us a part of your evening. We're not experts. We're not insiders. We're not media members. We're fans just like you talking Packers on the daily. So if you're looking for that type of content, make sure you hit subscribe and click that bell icon so you're notified when we go live here in the future. I see the chat is already lit up on fire. Thank y'all so much for joining us this evening. Let's dive into some, I think this is some interesting stuff here, man. First of all, let's get the news out of the way, which we talked about earlier today already. But again, we'll just dabble into it a little bit more in case you guys missed that show. Ian Rappaport tweeted out earlier today, Packers standout running back Josh Jacobs' knee is structurally sound and no surgery is needed per me and Tom Pelissero. He's considered day-to-day, but could miss the game against the Vikings. So again, it's going to be one of those game time decisions. I would imagine they'll keep him out of practice all week long. It's not like he needs the extra practice. He completely understands the offense. He's the heartbeat of this team, obviously. So I'm not concerned with him maybe not being prepared. It's more so, do we want to risk sending him out there? Now, it sounds like there's no long-term I'm not trying to say long-term risk with this, right? Because Matt LaFleur actually did give a specific detail on the injury. It'll probably be hard to hear. I'm going to play it anyway. So you guys just crank up the volume. I'll explain what he said here in just a second in case you can't hear it. But here we go. Here was Matt LaFleur at the podium earlier today talking about Josh Jacobs' injury there at MetLife Stadium.
Is IR a consideration for Josh at all?
No,
This week a possibility?
potentially we'll see where he's at. It's a contusion, so it's just more or less trying to get the swelling down, and unfortunately, that's a pretty hard surface over there, and
Shots fired.
sometimes the byproduct of that.
So obviously what he said there was, Matt LaFleur confirms Josh Jacobs' injury is a contusion, mentioning it was the hard surface at MetLife Stadium that kind of caused it. Most of the time when you're talking about artificial turf, artificial surfaces, the big complaint is it's very springy, right? And that's what can be really hard on ligaments. That's why you see so many ACLs get torn and all that stuff on, artificial surface. However, he's talking about it being a little bit harder surface. So when you watch the tackle of Josh Jacobs getting tackled out of bounds, obviously you can see his knee kind of jams into the turf. Not a whole lot of give there. Like with grass, obviously with the surface that's just beneath the grass, the grass level, there's a lot of give there, right? The grass will actually tear away. It'll dent in, that type of thing, right? And that's why many players don't like the springboardness of the artificial turf, as well as obviously a surface like at MetLife Stadium where it's hard. So he said that he needs the swelling to go down to have a chance to play on Sunday is essentially what he said. So let's jump into the actual injury there. When you hear contusion, I know some people are like, what the hell is a contusion? It's basically a severe bruise, right? And this is just an AI, quick little Google search. Obviously, you guys do your own research, but Google AI says a knee contusion is a bruise of the knee causing caused by blunt trauma that damages blood vessels under the skin, leading to pain, swelling, and discoloration. Obviously, Matt LaFleur talked about the swelling there, and you can see that's kind of a severe case. I imagine that's probably what Josh Jacobs' knee looks like. If it was just a little slight bruise, no big deal, he probably would have came back in the game. But we got Tim joining us now. Tim, I imagine it looks something similar to that, man. And let me tell you, you just hear a bruise. We all get bruised up all the time. That looks nasty right there, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. I doubt he plays on Sunday against the Vikings. That's my personal theory. And I think it's a good idea. Give it that time. We talk about our boy Jair, man. Jair's still having fluid drained from his knee from 3 years ago, every other day. Took some time away from the game. So, the good news is the knee is structurally sound. There's no surgery. There's, no ligament tears, all this stuff. But, severe swelling and bruising is no joke, and it's painful. And there's no reason at all to rush Josh back into the field at all.
Right. And it talks about here, treatment typically involves rest, ice compression, and elevation. Basically.
Notice it doesn't say playing football anywhere in the.
Right. It says along with over-the-counter pain relievers, got to have those, right? Minor contusions can heal in a few days, but more severe injuries like a bone bruise may take weeks or months to recover, and medical attention should be sought to rule out more serious damage like a fracture or a ligament tear. Obviously, they went through that whole process, and, you guys remember last year, Christian Watson, I think it was last year, had someone fall on his knee, right? And that caused a bone bruise. I think they would have specifically mentioned that if this contusion involved a bone bruise, obviously. So this is, I think, strictly just a contusion. So hopefully we'll get Josh Jacobs back sooner rather than later. But I'm with you, Tim. No reason to rush him out there for Minnesota. I'm not going to say you don't need him. It's a division rival. Listen, it's going to be a hard-fought game. There's no two ways about that. I don't care how bad someone's record looks or how bad their young quarterback's playing. It's always going to be a dogfight, just like it was for the Chicago Bears yesterday, right? It ended up being a 2-point ball game, and some people thought they were going to boat race the Vikings. So with that being said, I had the Vikings winning 20-17, and I firmly stand behind that, thinking J.J. McCarthy was at home. I don't see him throwing 2 picks. Boy, was I wrong, because J.J. McCarthy, we'll talk about him here in a minute, but that's looking like cheeks there. So we'll dive into all that here in a second. But you guys let us know in the comments if you're watching this video back later, now that we've got the specific diagnosis of the contusion there. Let us know in the comments what you think about Josh Jacobs. Would you try to rush him back this week? Would you hold him out? Do you think it's that important a game? Or would you be a little more cautious, that type of thing? So let us know in the comments what you think. Make sure you hit subscribe and click that bell icon so you're notified when we go live here in the future. All right, Tim, let's switch gears to Jordan Love, man. There's been a lot of chatter on X about Jordan Love. And, man, I watched this video that the Packers posted earlier, and it made me think of this Brett Favre throw. So I just threw a side-by-side shot together. We'll watch it once or twice in case we may get in trouble for showing it. And I had to pull the oldie but the goodie of Jordan Love out in the stadium wearing the Brett Favre jersey. I feel like he's more like Brett Favre than Aaron Rodgers, and just in the sense of how he plays and takes those risky throws. Man, is it fun to watch. I'm not trying to say Jordan Love's a first ballot Hall of Famer, and I know for whatever reason, there's a portion of the fan base that gets pissed off when you try to compare this player to that player. Guys, we've been doing that with football our entire lives. Like, everybody's looking for the next Barry Sanders. Everybody's looking for the next Deion Sanders. Everybody's looking for the next, Jerry Rice, right? So when you start to see commonalities, ain't nothing wrong with comparing players, right? And I don't know, it just bothers me that people get so upset about it. But anyway, I want you guys to look at this side-by-side shot. I got to make sure it's muted because there's some NFL Films music there that was just absolutely awesome. But anyway, here we go, playing it. Look at this side-by-side here. This is Brett Favre's touchdown pass against the Bengals to Kendrick Taylor. And then look at the throw side by side, man. The camera shot is just perfect, is it not, Tim? Look at this, dropping it right in the basket. Perfect throws.
Hey, shout out to NFL Films, man. That's, the Sable family. That's who birthed these kind of shots right here, zooming in on the ball. I love it. I'm gonna be honest. I think Jordan's got a little bit of a better spin on that ball, but
everybody said online, like, actually, it's a tighter spiral than Favre. But keep in mind, to the best of my knowledge, that was Favre's first game coming in too. Like, I think that was the game where Magic Man got hurt, right? So
that was after Brett Favre's first completion to himself.
Yeah. Exactly. So again, that's the first thing I thought of when the Packers released that video earlier on Twitter. I was like, man, I got to figure out how to get a side-by-side shot, because that just made me think of that Brett Favre throw for sure. So
That's so cool.
So moving along with the Jordan Love talk, just to give you an update on how it's going from PFF standpoint, I threw out a tweet. Jordan Love has now surpassed the highest PFF season grade of his career with an 84.4, and now Toyotathon begins. If you notice here throughout his career, right, the PFF grades 36.2, 78.7, 83.6 is his highest grade up to this year, right, and that was in 2023. Last year, 3 different injuries he was dealing with most of the season, drops to a 75.8, still a hell of a grade for an injured player, and then jumps right up to an 84.4. Now, listen, there's a lot of season left. He may dip back under that 75, right? But as he's on pace for right now, it looks like he's on track to have his best season in terms of PFF and overall offensive PFF grade. I like to include the overall offensive grade because the run should be involved there, right? It shouldn't just be about the passing grade, in my opinion, because quarterback, as you could see yesterday, hell, the last 2 games, you're starting to break out a little bit of read option with Jordan too. Now, got to be careful, make sure he slides, take care of him. Obviously, he's not Malik Willis out there scrambling around. But what do you think about this, man? I think he's tracking really, really well. And I actually showed a point, or I had quote tweeted the tweet I threw out, Emmanuel Wilson with great pass protection. Let me just roll this real quick for you guys and gals. Watch Emmanuel Wilson on this. Jordan Cans to the backup play. Look at Emmanuel Wilson. Look at that protection right there, boys. And then just a dot across his body. We'll talk about that play specifically here in a second. But again, man, Jordan Love, Tim, is off to a hell of a start, dude.
Let's go, Toyotathon. I love what you do for me, Toyota. Remember that? Are you guys old enough for that one?
I don't think I remember that one, Tim, but we might not have had cable at the time. I know about that.
That's back in the day, but hey, I'm not surprised at all, man. I've been saying Jay Money is the dime thrower. He wears number 10 because he only throws dimes. I've been saying this for years. And from a PFF,
every time, Tim, we're going to do it.
Yeah, for sure. From a PFF standpoint, I mean, yeah, the proof is in the pudding, right? He's well on pace to have one of his best graded seasons, and this is still only the surface, I think, for Jordan Love. The more reps he gets, the better he's going to be. And coming back into that game on Sunday like the hero that he is was incredible. Got a little nervous there. Luckily, we had Malik to keep the train on the tracks until the conductor could get back and do what he does. I'm just hyped about Jordan, man. I'm not surprised at all. And anyone who's played with him or against him will tell you the same thing. I mean, I don't think there's anybody in this league, either side of the ball, that thinks Jordan's a joke. Honestly, no. I think it's mostly fans that are delusional.
It's a portion of the fan base that does not want to be wrong about judging him too early, right?
Exactly.
And the only thing worse than judging someone too early or getting a take wrong, guys, you watch this show consistently. I'm wrong all the time. The only thing worse than being wrong at something is just refusing to admit that you were wrong.
Doubling down on wrong is never a good look.
It's a really bad look, but I want to show you a good look here. We'll roll it through maybe once or twice, a little preview for Chalk Talk tomorrow. This play, as I said, and I apologize for the coughing, Matt LaFleur bluffing a switch slot cross, teeing up a cross corner route for Matthew Golden, the play I just showed you, right? Coach was in his damn bag yesterday. This play call, and again, we'll highlight it a little more in detail tomorrow on Chalk Talk, but it was 11 ace nasty, dubs right, Z cheat to wing, double leak, 22 fake, counter switch, X climb, F cross corner. And the F cross corner is Matthew Golden playing F right here. Notice they've actually got Savion playing the Z and Christian in the X, right? Again, the X is on the line of scrimmage, opposite the tight end. The F is typically your slot receiver, your motion guy. In this case, they're going to move the Z into wing. Remember, when we broke down Savion Williams when we drafted him, we showed you on tape, his tape at TCU, where he would play the wing. Because when you kick in the wing, you can almost be like a tight end. That's been Christian's role for the most part. They'll do Wicks like that occasionally. They like to do Heath like that because he's a bigger body receiver, a little more physical. So it's cool to see them. They're slowly, Tim, giving Savion more and more responsibility, and boom, you've seen him have I don't want to say a breakout game, but he made a breakout play in a crucial time there. I think it was on a 3rd and 10 in the fourth quarter on that go-ahead drive. So it's just so cool to see that. But again, notice Matthew Golden playing F is the number 2 receiver. Count him from outside in. Christian's the 1. He's the 2. So Christian is going to run a climb route, okay? Savion's going to kick into the Z. He's going to chip, leak in the flat. And you're going to have a little spot route, or what I call it's more of a spacing, I guess you could say. It's a double leak, so you're going to have a sit The Y is just going to turn around and sit down. And then what you're going to have with our boy Matthew Golden, remember slot cross would be Golden running a climb, okay? Christian running a dig, and Matt LaFleur loves that. Remember, he always says the illusion of complexity with simplicity at its core, right? That's how he operates this offense.
Yep.
So instead of running
especially out of the condensed sets like this, for sure.
Yeah, with a nasty split, right? So instead of running slot cross, what they're going to do is a switch fake slot cross, and it's going to turn into an F cross corner. So what they're going to do is at the snap, these guys are going to switch places. Okay, the ball's going to be snapped. Christian's going to cut in front of our boy Matthew Golden. He's going to run the climb, and then Matthew Golden is going to slip in behind him, look like he's setting up the dig or the crosser, right? Like a follow cross, if you will, and then he's going to put his foot in the ground and run a corner route or an out. Essentially, it's more of a choice route, is what it is, right? So again, that's the F cross corner. That play call is 11 ace nasty, dubs right, Z cheat to wing, double leak, 22 fake counter switch, X climb, and we're going to throw the F cross corner. Watch Golden in the 2, watch them switch off the snap. There's the switch, crosser, fake the crosser, the dig, come back, and bang.
MG,
I mean, he's running butt naked through the trailer park. So
that's why he was our first round pick, man.
Yeah,
right there. Look how sudden he is off the snap, and then on the route too. It's just crazy.
And this is what we're talking about. When people speak out of their ass about Matt LaFleur not being able to scheme, he's not creative. He literally not only this is 3 layers deep. He loves slot cross, so he showed a slot cross look, and then he gave them a little wrinkle of we're going to run a switch slot cross. They bit on the dig or the secondary crosser, and then what's he do? He comes back to the sideline. So this is him playing a poker hand about 3 deep. And look at the separation that Matthew Golden has down here. And again, Jordan Love makes a hell of a throw, fades to his left, throws across his body, puts it where it needs to be in, I wouldn't say perfect timing, but good enough timing to give his receiver a chance to just make an easy play there. So just absolutely love it. As Coach Lynn points out, since it's a nasty split, Golden ran that out of the wing spot also. Very, very similar to kind of that really, really tight, almost like in a tight end spot there as well. So moving along to some of the other Jordan Love talk here. Wendell Ferrara. I hope I'm saying that name right. I don't know if it's Ferrara or Ferrara, but Wendell's a great follow over on X. It's at Wendell FP. Says there's only 2 quarterbacks in the NFL with a big time throw rate of 5.5 plus, okay, and a turnover worthy play rate of 3 minus whatever, right? Here is who they are, okay? Again, only 2 quarterbacks in the NFL, Matthew Stafford and Jordan Love. So what's that mean? Big time throw rate, making big time throws consistently, right? But while also protecting the football and not putting it in harm's way and throwing interceptions. Now, again, go back to last year, Tim. He's putting it in harm's way all the time. We talked about bad mechanics, can't step into the throw, can't drive the throw down the field, right? We talked about that. Yep. All the injury stuff that came into play. Again, man, it just seems like every week there's a new statistic, some kind of advanced metric that we could take a look at and go, I'll be damned. He's separated himself there too. So he's showing way, way, way more signs of being an elite quarterback than he is being just a good quarterback, if that makes sense.
That's true. And that's like you said, he's more like Brett than he is Aaron. But those 2 comparisons are elite quarterbacks, and Jordan is tilting towards the elite category for sure. And that's the cool thing about these advanced metrics. We didn't have these, 10, 20 years ago when we were watching ball. So it is kind of cool. You look at, like this next thing we're going to, Jordan Love's completion percentage. I mean, completion percentage was pretty much, other than passer rating, that's what we had to go off of, Mm-hmm. So we have advanced metrics now. It does make it a little interesting when you really do a deep dive and take a look at how he's playing right now. And being in the company of Matt Stafford right now is pretty awesome because Matt Stafford's MVP candidate the way he's playing right now.
Absolutely, man. He's up there in the conversation. He may be leading it right now. I haven't checked that in a while, but Jacob Morley tweets out another great follow over on X. Jordan Love's completion percentage from a clean pocket by year. So look at how things dipped last year and then got so much better this year, right? 2023 with a clean pocket, 69.7. That was 16th in the league. Last year, again, injured most of the year, 69.6. That was 20th best in the league. This year with a clean pocket, 82.2. That is number 1 in the National Football League in 2025 so far. Obviously, Jacob Morley says, obviously, give a ton of credit to Love, but tip of the cap to first-year quarterback coach Sean Mannion as well. You know, some of us were kind of concerned, when the old quarterback coach Clements, right, when he steps down, what's Sean Mannion going to do? Matt LaFleur, once again, you got to tip your cap to Matt LaFleur. He had a plan in place. Hey, look, before you retire, right, Tom, before you retire, because you're the GOAT, let me get the young one in here so you can kind of show him the way.
Before you retire again.
Right.
He got him back from retirement once, right?
Exactly. So just absolutely awesome. And as 2-0 for this points out, J.J. McCarthy could use Sean Mannion as a quarterback coach. I'm glad you brung that up. That up there, 2-0 for this. Stay out of my head, buddy, because this next thing I wanted to hit on was also Wendell tweeting out. J.J. McCarthy has the worst turnover-worthy rate at 6.1 amongst qualifying quarterbacks. It's a big, big difference between what's going on in Green Bay at the quarterback position and what's going on in Minnesota, right? And we talked about, man, if you're going to move on from Sam Darnold, you better be damn sure that J.J. McCarthy's the guy. They bought into the hype. And obviously we were like, when people were picking them to win the North and they had them winning 12, 13 games in the offseason, I remember specifically saying, if J.J. McCarthy's good, yeah, that roster's built. But boy, that's a big if. We don't know what J.J. McCarthy is. He not only did he not play last year, but he got hurt in training camp. He didn't even get to go through a whole training camp. So we're just putting all the marbles in the bag of, hey, look, this dude is going to be legit, and we got no reason to believe that yet. So obviously, as it sits right now, and on the McAfee show earlier, I was watching it, and they broke down the last 6 or 7 quarterbacks that's played for Kevin O'Connell in Minnesota. It might have been other places too, but definitely in Minnesota. These are just average names other than Sam Darnold, who I think is you know, I know he had a bad game yesterday, I'm pretty sure. It was pretty ugly. But other than him, these guys were just kind of mid-tier quarterbacks. And all their completion percentage was like 65, 68, 69, 70. And then you got J.J. McCarthy was in the 50s. So one of these is different, right? And it's the same coach, which everybody was dubbing the new quarterback whisperer and Kevin O'Connell. And that's no shade toward Kevin O'Connell. I think he's a great coach. But what it's saying is early indications are they probably whiffed on 9, as he likes to refer to himself. So anything you want to add?
We'll never know, right? Because, you know, redshirt rookie year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, not even a camp. The hell with the season. You didn't even get a camp before he was hurt. So we don't know. That's where I'm at right there. I mean, that's not an indictment on KOC. You know, anyone who knows ball knows that he knows what he's doing. But yeah, I think it would have served the Vikings better to pay that man his money when it comes to Mr. Darnold, for sure. Yeah.
Chris the Casual in the chat said, Clayton, is Caleb really good? Please say no. Caleb is really good at resting on the bench. Now, Caleb is really good at evading tackles. There's no denying that. And he's been clocked at over 20 mile an hour. He's a top 3 scrambling quarterback in the league right now. Notice I didn't say dual threat. And the reason being, his completion percentage is in the tanks right now. Now, immediately Bears fans will go, well, his completion percentage is bad because of the drops. Okay, how many drops did we have yesterday? And look at Jordan Love's this year, right? So it's not like every quarterback isn't dealing with drops. With that being said, it's kind of like what we talked about with the tight end position. People are ready to give up on Luke Musgrave, and I understand. I don't see him as a true tight end. I see him as more of a weapon, more of a large wide receiver, as a true traditional Y. If you try to use him as a Y, he's going to play like Cheeks, right? Well, with Caleb Williams, as Ben Johnson is trying to make him a pocket passing quarterback, now you want him to be able to use his God-given talent to run around, but he does not play on time. He doesn't play on time. He doesn't play in rhythm. Typically, it's one read, let me make somebody miss, right? And boy, you get some damn good plays on the run. He's making guys miss. But sooner or later, people are going to wisen up. And I put a tweet out. And it's funny how some people think this is just a casual approach. This is football 101. Coach Lynn will attest to it. If you've got a quarterback that scrambles a lot, right, and you're coaching DBs, you're coaching linebackers, you're coaching the defensive side of the ball, and you go in game planning that week for this mobile quarterback, you're going to look at his tendencies. Where does he run the most? Does he like to run to his left the most? Does he like to run to his right? That's the first thing. You check that off the list. Okay, we're going to be prepared for him to roll right. Let's say that's the case. All right. Where does he make the guys miss? Does he make them miss, jab step, and move outside? So if that's the case, then you have those defenders play his outside half. That's what I've always heard it called. Play the outside half. Somebody says it's also called bottling. No, bottling is a cage rush. You're trying to keep a guy in the pocket, right? You're trying to make him throw from in the well. I'm talking about tackling technique. It's just like in baseball. If you get in the batter's cage, or let's say you're 3-4 games into the season and you're beating the ball into the damn ground, right? That means you're hitting the top of the ball. Guess what they teach you in the batting cage? Swing for the bottom half of the ball. And you'll notice you'll start making clean wood, right? Now, if you're popping everything up, they'll teach you swing for the top half of the ball, right? And it kind of evens things out. It's the same thing with tackling drills. If you've got a guy that on tape, it's showing everybody missing to the inside, aim for his outside half. Break down properly, show proper fundamentals, and play his outside half. Force him back into the teeth of the defense. That doesn't mean he's not going to scramble for a big gain up the middle either, but you're taking what he does really, really well away and all that extra space on the sideline. And plus what you're doing is you're putting him in a conflict situation where if he gets close to that first down marker and you force him back inside, he's got to make a business decision and a team decision. Do I slide or go for the first down? He's going to take more hits, more wear and tear. That's going to beat him down a little bit more as opposed to just always giving him the sideline to run out of bounds, right? So as Coach Lynn says here, he says, Caleb refuses to stay in the pocket and likes to roll right. And he'll roll left too, but his bread and butter is sit in the pocket, right? And when they emerge or whatever, jab step left, get them to commit left, and then he's just rolling out right. He's damn good at it. So 2-0 for this. I think he's an average quarterback, pocket passing quarterback, but he's got elite evasive skills. So take that for what you will. Now, I know that's not a letter grade over an overall quarterback, but again, I try to break things down to where it's like, okay, what do they do well? What do they do not so well? As Bill Belichick always said when the scouts would come to him with a scouting report, Tim, they'd say, all you guys are telling me is what they can't do good. What can they do good? What can they do to contribute and help the team win?
I throw that arm talent in the conversation too. We've always said that about Caleb. That he's got the ability to throw that football, hum that tater. So you combine that with the feet. It's real. You have to acknowledge it. I mean, this is not a JJ McCarthy situation. I mean, as you would say, right, Clay? Like JJ McCarthy can't. He couldn't hit a bullet in the ass with a mop.
That's right. My old high school coach used to say,
"Yeah, I don't get that vibe from Caleb. It's more of a football IQ kind of thing, and they're starting to put it together. It's going to be a hell of a divisional matchups when we play them, week after week here, right? We've got the Vikings, the Lions, the Bears, then Denver, then the Bears again. So, we can't take that for granted. But we love to razz the Bears because they will find a way to still suck somehow, some way, right?
Like a weak schedule up to this point. It's going to be exciting to see how the rest of their season goes. So, but just one more thing there. If you were to compare Caleb to J.J. McCarthy, right? Why is J.J. McCarthy stinking so bad? He's not making good decisions. What I'm seeing on the limited snaps I've seen, and it's probably irresponsible for me to comment to this level without watching all of his tape, but I'm always seeing him airmailing balls. He's missing high, right? Now, Caleb, rather than throwing into coverage, he would rather take a sack. Both of those things are wrong, right? Yeah. Now, Caleb's gotten better at not taking sacks this year, and now he's evading the tackle. So that's why you got the Bears in a position to where, the reality is going into this week, and I'll have to check the updated numbers, Chicago had the 11th best scoring offense, right? Again, you look at the throwing numbers, the actual analytics would suggest, no, Caleb's not that good of a passer, but he's making things happen with his feet, and he is taking what the defense is giving him at some crucial times. So anyway, there's your Jordan Love talk of the night, and also a little extra NFC North quarterback talk. Let us know in the comments if there's anything you disagree with, anything you do agree with. Is there something we missed? How do you feel about the future of the NFC North and the quarterback position? Hit us up in the comments. Make sure you hit subscribe and click that bell icon so you're notified when we go live here in the future. All right, Tim, let's switch gears here. Let's talk a little receiver, my man. And shout out to Ben Avery with the super sticker. Thank you for the dono, buddy. Appreciate you so much. Chuck Jaggers said 2-0 versus the Bear this year, please. Yes. Amen, man. Amen. And I'll tell you what's going to help you go 2-0 versus the Bears is guys like this right here. Tim, I don't know if you've seen this clip or not, but this is Christian Watson picking up a first down. I think this was on a 3rd and 1. And Matt LaFleur, I don't know if he called a passing player. If they can to it, we'll break that down on Chalk Talk tomorrow. But hit him on a crosser on a 3rd and 1, goes out of bounds. This dude was hanging all over him trying to tackle him. And as I pointed out, the image really tells the whole story. But I said the genuine concern on the Giants sideline for this player who just found out Christian Watson's a grown-ass man, and a laughing emoji. Look at everybody looking at him like, is he alive? Look at his leg. He's underneath the bench, and his legs are vertically in the air. After Christian and the guy tries to tackle him, and Christian just kind of shrugs it off like it ain't nothing, like a little gnat. You're talking about, what, 6'5", 225 pounds of solid muscle right there. Yeah,
I know
Christian,
it's not a high def photo, but look at the bros on the bench looking down like, what the hell is going on?
like, can we not get a breather in peace here, please? Like, we're all the way at the end of the bench too. These guys crack me up, Tim. All of them are like,
Yeah.
oh,
Somebody come
God.
look at this.
That's going to make the highlight reel or the low light reel, I should say. So, yeah, as Chuck Jagger says, you guys want to see a body?
Hey, y'all want to see a dead body? I love it.
Absolutely. All right. So again, Christian Watson's on one right now, man.
Yeah.
And you can just feel the momentum building, and his hands have gotten better. So you've still got the speed. He's shown that. You've still got the frame. He's put on muscle. He's a leader in the locker room. His teammates respect him. He's got the right mindset. You could tell he's just dialed in. He's got that new dad strength, as we all know. This guy, I'm telling you, he's poised to really go to the next level. I've seen enough, Tim. I know we got the extension. He's under contract next year.
Oh yeah,
Get
pay that man.
this dude locked up. We need another. And what sucks is you got to wait a year from the previous extension. But as soon as you get to that date, get this dude locked up. This is going to be your number one corner, your deep threat. We showed you him playing X just a second ago. He can play X. He can play Z. He can line up in the wing. He can do all these different things. Him, Matthew Golden, and Jaden Reed in the future is a very, very exciting thing.
Pay that man his money.
Exactly. And speaking of Christian, that clip I showed you earlier, I did a side-by-side with the Brett Favre thing. I posted the original video earlier, okay? If you guys want to just watch it real quick. The music, we'll drum it down here. And there's that spiral we were talking about, man. Just a beautiful pass, just did on its own.
I'm going to keep mentioning it on a high snap that he had to
Yes.
juggle a little bit before he released it.
Absolutely. And there's Christian going up and getting it. And, of course, showing this because Papa Scoot, Christian's dad, said that's pretty cool. Those two dudes also may be rather decent football players. Amen to that. I think that's the understatement of the day. So Christian Watson doing great things. And here's what's cool, Tim. I don't want to say kind of left off our list sometimes because we always try to put respect on Romeo Dobbs' name. He's one of the unsung heroes on this offense, on this team. I want him back. It's just we've talked about it. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on it. Like, we all want him back. I'm just thinking it may not be in the roster modeling for the Packers because you're going to have to pay Christian Watson eventually. You're going to have to pay Jaden Reed eventually, right? And you got to pay Tucker Kraft too. As soon as he proves he's good after the ACL, I have no worries there. But Romeo Dobbs, man, he just continues to play selfless. And this play right here, I just said no block, no rock. Romeo Dobbs doing that dirty work, digging out the safety on this Emmanuel Wilson touchdown run. Again, we'll break this down extensively tomorrow on Chalk Talk at 6 p.m. Central. And what a great play design by Matt LaFleur. So as you can see here, I'm going to highlight Romeo Dobbs up top, okay? So what position is he playing? They just shifted. They started with a 2x2 set, a dub set. This is 12, strong left. They're in a nasty split, right?
Yep,
so it was
again. Love these condensed sets from Matt.
So it was somewhat a balanced set. 2x2 is all Dobbs means, guys. And he's on the line of scrimmage. That makes him the X. That makes Christian the Z down here. Okay, now they shift that to the left, which makes it a true X, boundary X, short side of the field. You see Jordan changes the play, right? So he cans, I'm assuming, to a run. It could have been two. It could have been two running plays, and he went from one running play to the other. It could have been a passing play, and he went to a running play. We don't truly know, right? You see barking out orders. Now look at Christian going to line up in the wing there, right behind the tight ends. So when you see that, you're probably thinking of some kind of switch release out here with the tight ends, right? And he just canned. So watch what happens with Rome. This is a beautiful play design. You can tell this is coached up for Rome. Don't even block the corner in front of you. Go straight and dig the safety out. Let Emmanuel Wilson have the corner. You dig the safety out, right? So watch this play unfold. Ball snapped. Look at Rome. Streaks to the inside, and look him dig the safety out. Bang, right there. That's what gets you the touchdown.
Fundamentals.
Yeah. Beautiful rep. Absolutely gorgeous rep by Romeo Dobbs. Selfless player. And knowing Christian Watson's on that side, if you look at this set from the defense, you're probably thinking they got to be running left here. They got both tight ends over there. They got Christian over there, Tim. They got to be running left. And what do? They went weak side run, and bang, Romeo with the key block. I just wanted to highlight that.
I'm glad you did, man, because I think a lot of fans, all they're looking at are looped clips of Rome dropping a couple of balls yesterday and not realizing that it's plays like that really help your football team. We talked about Chris Brooks this morning, with the crucial block on that tutter. Here's another great example of Rome just picking his team up and playing within the scheme and doing the little things, right? No block, no rock. Indeed, man. I love it. That's a staple of this Matt LaFleur offense for sure.
No block, no rock.
And what's cool is like, okay, we showed you a clip of Matthew Golden running butt naked through the trailer park. Great scheme, great route, everything 2 or 3 steps ahead of the Giants defense. Great throw from Jordan Love. But you see Matthew Golden on that route, right across corner. We've seen Christian line up in the X, the Z, and the F yesterday. Okay. And again, in the wing position or the wing location a couple times as well, which might as well be tied in. Okay. So he's all over the joint. We've shown you Matthew Golden playing the X position. We've shown Romeo Dobbs, who's truly your X, playing F most of the year. He's been jumping around playing a little F, a little flyer. So you got these guys mixing and matching constantly, right? We showed last week Wicks making a couple key catches, one on 1st and 10 where he caught an out route, another one on a crucial 3rd down that kind of kept you in that ball game against the Eagles coming right down to the wire. The receiving core is just really, really exciting. And we haven't got Jaden Reed back. We get Jaden Reed back on Thanksgiving, hopefully Thanksgiving, if he's good to go. We'll know real soon if they're going to open that window up. I think Matt talked a little bit about that earlier. He kind of hinted at they'll probably be opening up that window soon. This receiving core is about to get healthy. Now, it sucks you're still without Tucker Kraft. You're going to be without him until next year, but you got to make do. And you could see Matt's already positioning himself going, okay, let me get some good blocking tight ends in here and try to establish the run game a little bit. And now we're going to work off of that, which they did against the Giants. So I've seen some people responding to the tweets to him, and they were like, so is Matt just waiting to empty his bag until the playoffs? Is that why this just got broke out? No, this is all building. It's not like he's sitting back going, I'm going to run that play in week 6. No, you're looking at the tape, you're looking at the game plan and going, okay, we need to attack them this way. All right, let's build a game plan around this. We're going to install this formation, these set of plays, and then let's play off of that when teams start to adjust and bite down on that. It's a similar approach to what Hafley's doing on defense, knowing he's going to have to make adjustments. They've got the next install already ready to go when you're ready to flip the switch and go, okay, guys, now we're going here. Right. So
it's a week-to-week league, man. One game at a time, one matchup at a time, right? We as fans, we get that bird's eye view. We tend to look at seasons as one big movie, and it doesn't work that way, right?
All right. And then as Coach Lynn says, we got a Swiss Army knife with Wiley also. Wiley kind of reminds me of another player. I'm going to say a name here, and you guys, most of you will probably know what I'm talking about. But Tom Crabtree, how he could block. He could block. He could catch passes. He was more of that kind of that U tight end, right? Where you're just working him inside and letting him block, but then you occasionally leak him out. I always think of the fake field goal we ran. I believe it was a fake field goal where they pitched the ball to him, or maybe and took off. It might have been a fake punt too, but whatever it was, Crabtree was absolutely awesome. So I kind of get that vibe with Wiley. Does he remind you of any other tight ends? Obviously, you don't look at Wiley and think Jermichael Finley or think, any Bubba Franks or anybody like that. But is Crabtree, do you think that's a good comparison there?
I do. Kind of gives me Ben Sims vibes too, to get a little more recent memory. Unfortunately, he's a Viking now, but to your point, that's what Matt wants, right? We need tight ends that can play that way. And I think Wiley strikes me as a guy that he can, you're not going to replace Tuck Norris, right? But I think he can fill that void nicely for us throughout this year, and he's going to be clutch down the stretch. Played damn good yesterday. We'll take it.
Yeah, Joe makes a great point. Says Wiley looked like Tucker being that wide open. And that's the thing we pointed out with Tucker Kraft. You're not going to find bigger Tucker Kraft fans than the guys right here. There's nobody on our panel that hangs out on this show that doesn't think Tucker Kraft's a superstar. We were talking about it last year. Because the advanced metrics, like we're kind of highlighting a lot of this stuff with Jordan. We were talking about this stuff with Tucker. Like I remember putting a tweet out early this year, said, you can be disappointed, but don't you dare act surprised when Tucker Kraft becomes a superstar this year. And bang, he blew up right out of the gate. It's not because I'm so smart. It's all over the tape, and all the advanced metrics were suggesting he just needs more touches. Now, with that being said, you got to be real too and point out, it's not like Tucker Kraft is creating separation in tight windows, right? Matt was scheming his ass open, and he was running through people's faces. He can scheme Wiley open the same way that he can scheme Tucker open. I said that about Musgrave, but unfortunately, Musgrave's not going to run through tackles. Wiley kind of looks like
I think Riley might run through an MFer's face. You never know. I think he's got that in him for sure.
I believe it, man. He seems like he plays the game the right way. Fitzpatrick, to me, seems to have taken a little bit of a back seat to what Wiley can do, and you play the hot hand. But don't be surprised if Fitzpatrick starts to step up later too, because what will happen is you get 3 or 4 tutters under Wiley's belt, especially shifting him from U to H, a pre-snap. All of a sudden, teams start keying in on him, leaking out and everything. Don't be surprised if Fitzpatrick starts running butt naked out of 12 personnel here soon, right? So again, everything's building off each other in real time, and playing to that over pursuit, that over analytics, I guess you could say. So, I agree, Coach. Coach says Fitz is our wide, definitely, and Wiley plays more of that U, where he can shift into H and kind of become a fullback almost, right? And I love those 2-back sets that Matt LaFleur's been mixing and matching too. So, all right. So that's going to do it for the wide receiver / tight end talk. Let us know in the comments if you're watching this video back later. How do you feel about the wide receiver room? Are we too optimistic? Are we maybe not optimistic enough? We want to know how you feel. Who's your sleeper? Like, you got a wide receiver that you look at and go, man, you guys are really overlooking this guy. I think he's going to take the next step. It may be Malik Heath. After not getting to travel with the team, it may light a fire under him, and he may be the next guy to step up. So, let us know in the comments what you think. Make sure you hit subscribe and click that bell icon so you're notified when we go live here in the future. And that is going to do it for hour 1. For those of you listening on the pod, we will see you on the other side for hour 2, where we are going to break down a whole lot of stuff, the DB room, and we're going to jump into the PFF grades as well. We'll see you over there. Appreciate you.
For those of you listening on the pod,
welcome into hour 2. I ain't heard that in a while. I keep forgetting to break it into hour 2, but here we are. So, all right, let's get into it, Tim. DB talk, some other cool stuff coming out. Bill Huber, great follow on X.
DB talk, a.k.a. CV talk. Let's go.
Heck yeah, a little bit of bull too. We'll get into that in a minute. Bill Huber says the last 2 weeks for Carrington Valentine, according to PFF, 8 targets, 2 catches, 15 yards. That's it. They've only first of all, the 8 targets in the last 2 weeks tells me they're kind of staying away from 24 a little bit. And the fact that out of those 8 targets, only 2 catches, 15 yards, let's freaking go. As Jen Wright says in the comments, CB 1. No doubt about it. He's just playing so – and again, this is, random CV noise that says Bates. I love those videos too, by the way, the Packers post. So, for me, his rookie year coming out of Kentucky, Tim, you guys remember, coming out of camp, any little bit of playing time, anything, it's just like, man, this guy, he's just saying it doesn't seem to be translating, right? And from the college game to the pros, you guys know I'm very vocal. I'm a Kentucky fan. Watching him play at Kentucky, as Coach Stoops said, he was the emotional leader for our defense that they lost. It was going to be a big void. I agreed in college, but again, you got to make that transition to the NFL. Didn't seem like he could do it. Year 2, took a step. I went, hold up a minute, boys. He's playing sticky coverage and 2 red zone interceptions last year, if I remember correctly, right? Tied the cornerback room lead for interceptions with Jair Alexander. And then this year, they kind of put baby back in the corner again, right? Just like on Dirty Dancing, Tim. I know you.
Yeah. Nobody puts baby in a corner.
Damn right. See, that's what I'm talking about. I ain't ashamed to mention that my wife has maybe watched Dirty Dancing 1,000 times. Anyway, and I know it has nothing to do with old boy with the abs either. It has nothing to do with that. So, but they kind of tucked him away. Said, all right, Hobbs, you're the starter. Keyshawn, you're starting opposite. Bull's going to be the slot. Now, you could look at this one of 2 ways. There was times that I was like, man, put Hobbs in the slot, set Bull, and play Carrington because Carrington's that good. Little did I know Bull was going to take a step, which we'll talk about here in a second. And now all of a sudden, it's looking like Carrington Valentine might be a number 1 corner, right? I mean, up to this point, there's no might. He is. He's playing like a number 1 corner. Got to sustain that like Greg Cosell talks about all the time. But, yeah, Tim, I'm excited about Carrington Valentine, man. A Kentucky Wildcat breaking out. It doesn't get any better this for me. If you guys watch college football this year, we ain't got much to be happy about.
I'll tell you, man, this is my not surprised face. I've been saying this going into this season throughout the preseason process. I've been telling people to keep their eyes on 2-4. it's just cool to see him getting these looks now and getting that opportunity. And to the fact that, like you said, these teams are starting to pick up on the fact that they may need to tilt their game plan a little bit when it comes to CV. You see the targets are, they're not targeting them. Normally with corners, if they're an issue, you're going to get picked on all day long. And it seems like they don't want to throw that way. And I had a feeling, man, I really did about this guy. And I love the way he plays the game. I love his attitude out there. And I'm not surprised at all. And we still haven't even seen, the quote unquote ceiling there. This may be another one of those players that doesn't have one. And, we'll be talking about it for years to come, but I've seen enough. I'm convinced it might be time to go ahead and look at Mr. Valentine and say the same thing that we were saying about Scoot, right?
Pay that man his money.
Again, man, you're looking to model that roster, and there's only so many you can pay, right? Well, Keyshawn is like $6 million against the cap. His contract's not going to last forever, right? You got Bullard on a rookie deal. He's more of a slot corner. You could probably get him a little cheaper than a true shutdown outside corner when his contract comes up. So you're really positioning yourself to go, okay, people probably thinking you paid Nate Hobbs. Nate Hobbs is a 1 plus a 3, so you can actually get out of that if you need to. Carrington's that dude whenever it comes time. And here's what's cool. It's not like he's emerged as this superstar that everybody's going, oh, my God, we got to pay him. We got to pay him top corner money. We know how good he is. We're watching the tape. They know how good he is. They can also come through it from a standpoint of like, hey, you just became a starter. There's a lot of I don't want to say shady, but listen, there's tactics that teams use, and rightfully so. It's a business to drive the value down, maybe more so. They could be, what I'm saying is Goody and them could be behind the scenes going, boys, we need to get him a contract. This guy's going to be a stud. We cannot let him know that. You know what I mean? That type of thing.
Little gamesmanship, right? Yeah.
But the team loves him. They love everything about him. He's just one of those guys on the team that everything, you check all the boxes. He plays hard. He plays with good technique. Right, he plays the game the right way. He's a team player. His teammates love him. The coaches love him. Like,
he's an absolute spark plug, man.
What he is.
He's a spark plug, man.
Yeah, maybe the only negative you can't find is he's not an elite athlete. That's it.
Yeah, not yet.
Right.
Give the man some time. Let him come into his own. And you're right. It is a business, but I mean, CV strikes me as the type of guy, again, like if you don't insult him with an offer, he's probably going to sign and stay in Green Bay. That's just the vibe I'm getting.
Yeah, absolutely. Jen Wright says 85 PFF grade for Nixon. We'll talk about that here in a second. We haven't even talked about Keyshawn having one of his best game. Might be his highest graded game, as a matter of fact, of his career. So again, you've got all of the DBs kind of rising up. And listen, I know the Giants don't have the Vikings wide receiver room. I get it. All right. I'm not sitting here trying to pretend like, oh, all of a sudden all these guys are superstars. But if we're going to criticize them when they have a down game, we damn sure better praise them when they have a good game. Keyshawn had a hell of a game, no doubt about it.
Yep.
I'll tell you another player too, and I see your super chat there, Jason. I'm going to finish this up and I'll hit that, buddy. Appreciate your support there, man. Pack Daddy tweeted this out. Flying massively under the radar is the fact that Bullard might be a dude. Since the bye week, he's the 9th highest graded corner and has the 8th highest coverage grade among corners. Guys, notice he didn't say slot corner. Notice he didn't say nickelback.
Corner. Can we stop calling this man a safety now?
Yeah, please, right? Like, and that's we criticize the team for them trying to fit square pegs into round holes all the time, right? We're going to criticize it when we see it. However, this is one of those situations where they identified real quick, no, he needs to play slot, and they allowed Evan to grab a hold of the safety position, which another dude in the secondary is just playing really, really good football. So, it's one of those things, man, that. Now you're looking at when you model your roster again, you can probably pay 2 corners really good money, not superstar money, right? Like if you have to go out and get a Jalen Ramsey in their prime or a Jair Alexander, notice we didn't pay any other corners top money, right? We were having to let them walk because we were only paying 1. If you get Carrington locked up soon, if he continues doing what he's doing, and you lock up Bull, right? And now by the time Evan Williams' contract is due. McKinney's contract's going to be coming to an end. You got to make a decision there, but you're hoping that our boy Evan Williams can step into that safety role and kind of fill that void by X, unless X is playing good football, and then you tack on a couple voidable years, swap the credit card, and keep this thing going with an elite defense, right? So, but again, Bullard, man, playing damn good football too.
Yeah, great point by Ryan here, and I'm glad he brought it up because, you know, our biggest gripe, we've talked about this before. Our biggest gripe with him was coverage, and dude is playing his ass off in coverage this year so far. And it looks like a second year jump for Javon Bullard, man. And I'm just happy to see it. And I love it. You know, if he can really hold that slot position down like that, that's a huge monkey off our back in the secondary, right? I mean, you've got a guy that, you know, that can play there, whether it's, you know, in the run fits. We know he's a tackling monster. But now the coverage skills are there, man. The sky is the limit for that Georgia Bulldog, Mr. Bullard. I love it. I'm glad that he's back.
I threw this tweet out earlier today because I think I quote tweeted Jacob Morley, who was talking about the top PFF grades, Javon Bullard being one of those. I said, all aboard the Javon Bullard hype train, baby.
Yep.
Right here. We'll just roll it once. All aboard. All right. And I'm telling you, it looks like Bullard. This is before I seen Ryan's tweet too. So it's like we're seeing the same thing there. Like, looks like Bullard's taking a massive step. And again, we talked about Evan Williams. I want to give a shout out to Jacob Morley for this tweet. This is absolutely awesome. I love these when they show the crowd shots. Can you tell who's having a good game and who isn't? Evan Williams intercepting this pass in the fourth quarter pretty much sealed the game essentially. And this shot was taken, as you can see up here, right? Look at the reaction. Look at the Packer fans. Oh, hell yeah. And then you got the Giants fan like, yeah, back home. And this subway ride's going to suck. Right? So, hell of an interception by Evan, though, man. And again, we played Victory Monday. If you guys haven't seen it, go back and watch it from this morning. But we played the locker room speech by Matt LaFleur. Just seeing how humble Evan Williams is and how his teammates love him. There's something special happening in Green Bay, man. As we always say, you're building a team. You're not collecting talent.
Not collecting talent. Well said. And you know what? We can talk about that receiver quitting on the route, which, you know, he maybe have did. You know, we don't know. We're not in the meeting room, right? But either way, the coverage was there. You know, we heard Evan talking about going hot there. I think that, you know, let's say the receiver doesn't quit on his route, then it's a PBU, you know, right. We'll take that too. But game sealing interception, I love it.
Yeah, definitely. And again, what he talked about in the post-game interview at his locker, he said, yeah, they were playing basically quarter, half, what we call cover 6 defense. Quarters to the right from the offense's perspective. Evan was playing the cover 2, and then he said, I kind of figured as soon as talking about the one receiver, or they may have switched, but the guy who ends up being the one, as soon as he attacked the flat, I figured this corner is probably going to be hot, right? The 2 is going to be hot. So he was waiting for him to tip his hand. Typically, you can tell by the technique of them chopping down. He read corner, and he got to the spot before the receiver did. So just a hell of a job. And here's what's cool. Knowing the defense that you're in too, Tim, he knows it's quarter, half. He doesn't have to help X. He doesn't have to help on the other side because you got 2 deep responsibility quarters over there, right? So all you got to do is make sure you lock down your side of the field. The flat, no problem. It was what they call a flat 7, right? So they're going to run a flat and a 7 route, which is a corner. So he knew I don't have to help with the flat. Carrington's got that on lock. Let me jump on this corner. And again, it's a second-year player playing like a 6-year vet is what it is.
All over the Oregon tape, right? We talked about it with him. You know, absolute steal in that draft. The FBI with Evan Williams was evident from, you know, very early. And now we're seeing him kind of come into his own in year 2 in this Hafley system and balling his ass off, man. I love it. Love E-Will, man. One of my favorites.
Yeah, definitely. He plays the game the right way. So for those of you watching this video back later, let us know what you think of the DB room. Which of those DBs that we talked about are you most excited about? Is there one that you think maybe even that, hey, look, I'm not as big on him. You maybe look to replace him. Maybe you think Keyshawn's that guy. Also, maybe you think Keyshawn's better than Carrington. Let us know in the comments what you think. And make sure you hit that bell icon so you're notified when we go live here in the future. Tim, it's PFF time. But before we do, let's jump into Jason Wise. Super Chat said, I apologize, Chris Brooks. I wasn't familiar with your game. Thank you for the Super Chat, Jason. Chris Brooks, man, I'm telling you, that's a coach's best friend, Tim, is a running back that'll pass protect.
Damn right. And he can carry the ball too. And he can catch the ball out of the backfield. We've seen it, preseason, a lot of tape, but I think he's going to get some looks here in the next week or two, right? With Josh nursing the knee injury. So Jason Y is right on point here. Chris Brooks is a valuable asset on this offense for sure. And we're going to need him. We are these next few weeks for sure.
The other thing I'll say too is I kind of feel like maybe Chris Brooks, you guys remember when Emmanuel Wilson came on the roster, he is a very fluid ball carrier, right? He struggled in catching the ball and he struggled in pass protection. That was going to limit his snaps. Chris Brooks arrives, and then we just showed you a clip earlier of Ewell throwing, or Manuel Wilson, throwing, pass protection block, right, and washing that out so Jordan Love could roll left, throw across his body, hit Matthew Golden on the cross corner on that fake switch cross look, or switch slot cross look. I have a hard time believing that maybe Chris Brooks hasn't played a role in improving Emmanuel Wilson's pass protection, along with Josh Jacobs too, which that's not Josh Jacobs' bread and butter either. Chris Brooks is a better pass blocker than Josh Jacobs, in my opinion, but you don't pay Josh Jacobs the money you pay him for him to just pass block. It's just nice knowing that you've got that guy that can help pass protect. And if I remember correctly, I believe Brandon Jackson was a young running back that could pass protect when the Packers won the Super Bowl in 2010. I'm pretty sure he was kind of that pass protection guy. We start off, it was Ryan Grant, James Starks out of Buffalo, right? Shout out Emilio. I know you're listening somewhere, being lazy, playing video games. Unbelievable. And then you had Brandon Jackson, who was a second-round pick that was kind of underperforming running the football. Then all of a sudden, by the end of the year, it seemed like he had become a pretty good pass protector. I may be getting my years mixed up a little bit, but that's what stood out to me about Brandon Jackson. But Jason, thank you for the super chat, buddy. We appreciate you. All right, Tim, let's go rapid fire into the PFF grades. I'm excited to dive into this. This was a fun game, man. Every now and again, you need one of these games where it's like, man, everybody played pretty damn good football. So let's go to the overall rankings. The Packers are in the number 4 spot, according to PFF, with an 86.5 overall grade. Offensively, they're now up to the number 10 spot, so they've improved with a 76.9. And defensively, they are in the number 4 spot with a 79.1. They took a slight dip from this game overall in terms of defensive grade. And again, I talked about it yesterday. Matt LaFleur, he deserves the game ball amongst the coaches yesterday, not Hafley. And I'm a huge Hafley fan. But the defense sputtered a little bit, right, giving up those 20 points. And on offense, at the end of the day, you drop 27 points on a team. It really says a lot. Now, you got to credit the defense for the 2 takeaways. That's huge, right? To me, that's more important stat than just about anything other than points is those takeaways, because that's really swings that pendulum to where you're most likely going to win the game. So, again, that's just a quick outlook on how the team is playing both offensively and defensively. So, when you look at the grades from this week, team-wise, 78.8. Tim, if my math is correct, that's our 3rd highest graded game of the season. The boys came out to play, and it was hands down our highest passing graded game at a 93.
93.7. Jay Money, the dime thrower. Good Lord.
Yeah. So offensively, 82.3 in this game. Defensively, 69.9. So PFF kind of agreed with my assessment there in terms of how the team played. Let's start on offense here. And at the top of the list here, you've got Savion Williams. It's showing 2 total snaps. I don't know what the hell is going on there. I thought he played more snaps than that. That's got to be a typo, right, Tim? Because I want to say he played more snaps than that, right?
If he did, it's not many more though. I don't remember seeing a lot of him out there. I know we saw him on a return. He was on a return at least once, and then of course the monster reception to keep the drive alive to get the dub.
There you go.
But
I was going to ask y'all to do that.
It might be accurate, yeah.
Yeah, so Turtle says, no, he did only play. He played 2 snaps, literally. Now, he got off the bus with the walking boot, right? We talked about that. Yes, there you go. Not So Cool mentions it here. Savion had the boot on before the game. I remember saying, there's no way he's playing, right? I mean, that's the first time I've ever seen a player get off the bus with a boot and play. And
I was the one in the pregame saying, hold him out. Don't play him.
And then on a bum foot, right, only 1 foot, he goes up and makes that contested catch. Now, it wasn't like he skied through the air, but, man, what a great job. Late hands, back shoulder, making the adjustment there. And again, a great job by Jordan keeping the play alive. But that's wild. 2 snaps and to have an impactful play like that is just absolutely wild. And again,
talk about the grit on a football player, on your rookie wide receiver right here, playing through injury. Call it what you want, man. Something's wrong with the foot. He don't give a damn. He's going to go out there. 2 snaps. I'm going to make them 2 impactful snaps and help my team win a game. You got to love guys like that, man. You talk about building a team, not collecting talent. That's the culture you want in your receiver room right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And y'all don't feed the troll in there. We know what AFAM's doing. He's still pissed off that his Chiefs are going to miss the playoffs this year. God love him. That's got to be rough. So just let him vent.
Playoffs?
Let him vent, okay? Let him get it out. Let him pretend like Jordan Love is a bum and Matt LaFleur's a bad coach. I love it, dude.
We're going to give him some
Savion 94.5, Jordan Love 93.1. Tim, I think that's his best graded game. Is that his highest graded game of his career? I'm not 100% sure.
I don't know about career, but this year for sure. Yeah, for sure. I don't know.
I don't
We'd have
remember.
to run the numbers on that.
Right. We need to go back and check.
What did he grade out in that boat race of the Cowboys a couple of years ago?
That's probably the one you'd want to check, right?
Yeah.
I would imagine. So again, his grades on the season, 73, 86, 59, 78, 73, 53, 81, 61, 68, 93. His PFF grade on the season now, and 81.4. So again, we kind of highlighted already Jordan having his best PFF year as it sits right now. Again, a lot of football left, but he's definitely trending in the right direction there. So going back here, can we put some respect on Aaron Banks' name here, man? 83.4. It's funny too. Somebody, I shouldn't mention this. I won't mention the names. I'll give a shout out to Steve. All right, that enlightened me on this. But there's a sports talk guy of the 4-letter network that covers the Packers. His MO seems to be after every game, I've got to find one player to try to make them sound like they're ass cheeks. Right. That's I've got to do that every game. The one he just randomly picked this week was Aaron Banks, and my boy Steve tweeted at me and was like, yeah, evidently he didn't watch the game or didn't focus enough on Aaron Banks, because Aaron Banks might have had his best game. And that's what a lot of people were saying. PFF agreed, 83.4 on 55 snaps. Aaron Banks had himself a ball game. Let's see more of that. What's his grade up to? I can't imagine it's too high, because that's the best game of the season so far. So he's graded out above 80 twice. 86.1 to 83.4, but he's got 3 games where he graded out in the 40s, right? And then the others, 65, 69, and 55. So he's at a 59.7 right now. You get 2 or 3 more of those 80 plus grades and stabilize a 60 grade for the most part. I could see him finishing close to being in the 70s. And again, there's been other people talk about this. I'm not the only one that's mentioned it, but he came into this season banged up. He didn't get to have a good, healthy training camp, and he's been kind of chasing his tail the entire time trying to get healthy. So maybe, as you see here, 2 of the last 3 games grading out in the 80s, maybe Aaron Banks is finally cutting the corner and feeling fully healthy.
And I think we're feeling a little better about him on this O-line, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, you see against Carolina, 9 snaps. So you can throw that 86 out of the window. It's 9 snaps. Everything else this year, well above, high 50s, low 60s, and snap totals, playing a lot of football. And maybe for a guy like that has a high ceiling and is coming off of that nagging injury issue, you got to keep working him into the fray. And it feels like the more that you play him, the better he's getting lately. And you're right, Clay. We're just looking for some consistency. That's it. That's all we need on this line is some consistency, right?
I love. Well, Jen Wright says more veteran rest days, please. Amen to that.
Jen Wright says the opposite. Let him rest. The hell with this.
It seemed to work, right? Jason Y cracks me up. He says, like we've been saying all along, great signing by Goody. We've been raking his ass on the calls all year. Love it. So the other thing here, shout out to Bates. He did a quick search. His prior highest PFF grade was a 91.8 in the playoffs, blowout versus the Cowboys. So this 93.1 is Jordan Love's
best grade.
So a new ceiling.
A man, quick on the draw. I love it.
A new ceiling has been established for Jordan Love. That's exciting, man. All right, let's fly through the rest. We're going to run out of time and not be able to hit them all. Christian Watson, 82.1. I say fly through them. You know what? We might do defense tomorrow, because this is we got to take a second to highlight this. Now, listen, he's only been back 4 games, 79, 65, 67, 82. What does that tell me? 65 floor, 82 ceiling, 78.6 on the season. Does it show? It does not show right here what he's graded out as in terms of where he ranks amongst all wide receivers. But, Tim, just like Jordan Love reaching an all-time high PFF grade, same thing with Christian Watson. His career grade starting his rookie year, 77, 68, 70, 78. So 78 is his new in-season high. We'll see if it stabilizes or if it maybe takes a dip back. But again, man, coming off an ACL, this dude's a monster, man. And
he's a grown-ass man now. And
I love the fact that Matt LaFleur, that PFF has it listed 6'5", 208, knowing now he's 225, according to Papa Scoop, right? So this is it's exciting stuff, man. Christian Watson seems to be he's turned the corner, and the freak is proven that he's the freak.
And the reason why is because he never stopped grinding, even with the knee blowout, right? Like he never missed a day. He said that publicly. I never took a day off. And kind of the reason why he's even playing football ahead of schedule right now for us. We were talking about him possibly being back for the Thanksgiving matchup. And he's been playing ball for us, and he's been doing it at a high level. And I love the fact that Matt and the fellas have zero hesitation to cut him loose in this offense and just let him do what he does. Being down the guys that we are down, you need Scoot out there doing what he does. And I don't know if there is a ceiling. We could see him grade out in the mid 80s the rest of his career, from a PFS standpoint at the rate he's going right now. Just love to see it, man.
That catch from Malik Willis was just unbelievable, man. I mean,
dude,
just stuck to his hands. I'm like, how the hell did he catch that?
That is the definition of contested catch right there. I mean, you talk about a contested catch, my Lord. Wow.
And the chat raking me over the coals right now. That's not non-ceiling, says Jen, right? Corey says, yeah, I don't think that's his ceiling, right? So if somebody can find me, again, I was just saying like, hey, the ceiling this year, 82.1 so far, and you got a floor. I'm more excited about the floor being 65. You know what I mean? Rather than having a 40 or a 50 or what have you, right? Somebody look it up. What has been his highest PFF grade? Bates, if you've got a chance.
Bates is already doing it right now.
What is Christian Watson's highest PFF grade so far in terms of just single game? I'd love to know that. We'll kind of keep our eye out for that comment to come through. Moving along here. 2-0 for this. Watson's ceiling resembles the ceiling at Lambeau Field. They ain't one mission.
Love it.
So moving along, Malik Willis, by the way, 77.5. This dude, man, his passer rating for his career now since coming to Green Bay has got to be through the roof. But look at this. Look, what happened, Tim? Tennessee, 51.9. Tennessee, 45.9. Matt LaFleur says, come in here, kid. Let me work with you for a minute. 70.3 last year on 217 snaps. 77.5 this year. Only 7 snaps, but again, just picking up where he left off, actually a little better. So that's just, I don't know, man. I'd never want Jordan Love to leave the game ever again. Oh. However, when he does, I go, we're good. We're in good shape. Let's run the rock, baby. Let's run the rock. A little play action, a little RPR action, all that good stuff. So, and Bates points out Christian Watson. I'm seeing a 92.1.
Look at that.
Lord have mercy.
Here's a guy.
So we'll see, man, after this post ACL, I want to see him up in the 90s again. That would be exciting, man. Before the year's over, let's get us a 90-plus grade. That would be great. You can tell NFL football just kicked off because the spam has went nuts.
I'm nuking them as fast as I can, Clay.
Do you think, man? If we accidentally nuke somebody, just we'll get you back in here. We'll make sure we identify it if we accidentally ban. It seems like somebody always gets accidentally banned because of the spammers. So next, Darian Kennard, only 9 snaps, 75.7. Tim, I feel like he's done a hell of a job every time he's come in for the most part, right? I mean, so far this year, he's played in several games. I mean, 133 snaps. I didn't realize he played that many snaps, Tim. That's wild. And
he's
by the way,
like your in emergency break glass, right? Plug and play kind of guy. Seems to, whatever snaps he's getting, they seem like valuable snaps for us.
Yeah, what's that cursor doing right there, Tim? What is that doing right there? What's that?
Oh, he's another Kentucky Wildcat, man.
How bad is that coaching?
Don't mess around,
How bad is that coaching staff that you got this many NFL players you can't win a damn college game? This is unbelievable. What is going on down there in Lexington?
That's what happened. They're all in the NFL now.
Some people are
going up over at Kentucky, man.
Some people were going, Clayton, this is 2022 pre-NIL. I think y'all were doing some illegal activity. Probably might have been what was happening down there. So, anyway, his PFF grade on the season, Tim, 80.2. Am I wrong to want to see him in the lineup more, man? Am I wrong there, dude?
No, and careful what you wish for, though. He might be playing a lot of tackle for us down the stretch. Shout out to Zach Tom playing through, back issues and everything else. Having a guy like Kennard is an asset. I'd love to see him. I mean, 83 snaps against Dallas. That's a good look right there, right? In that, that overtime barn burner of a game that we had, grading out at a 74. I like that. And then the pass blocking, other than the Philly game, only 4 snaps. I think it's going to come along the more reps he gets. So, I'm all for it, man. If Emilio was here, he would say, hey, we gotta put Kennard in the game because we don't have Glover, right?
Right. Chester in the chat says, lifelong Kentucky fan. Thanks for rubbing it in. Hey, me too, Chester. Buddy, we in that same boat. There's about 17 holes in the hull of that boat, but we in there together, man. All right. We'll go down with the ship. But I'm going to say something very controversial. Somebody will probably clip it and rake me over the coals for it, and that's okay. I can't stop thinking about this. Now, listen, I don't think Sean Ryan has played horrible. It felt like he had a bad game yesterday, but again, that's tough against Lawrence. Dexter Lawrence is a hell of a defensive tackle. I mean, hell of a defensive tackle. Is it wrong for me to want to see Zach Tom at center and Kennard at right tackle for one game, for one quarter, one half? Am I off my rocker, guys? Let me know in the chat what y'all think about that. Is it? And again, it's only 130.
I've been wanting to see Zach Tom at center for 3.5 years. So, I mean, I'm with you, Clay.
And I know immediately people will say you paid him too much money to do that, right? But who gives a rat's ass? If it fixes the offensive line, if it improves the 5 you put out there, who cares if he's getting overpaid to play center, right? I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's see what everybody's saying in here. 2-0 for this, says Clayton. That is exactly what I want. I'm glad somebody else is feeling that way too, man. It just, I don't know.
What was we're looking at the grades though, right? How did Sean Ryan do? Is he up there?
We're going to get to that right now. As a matter of fact, that's a good time to do it. Coach Lynn says, I'd try anything at this point. 2-0 for this, says, I really like Kennard at right tackle. I do too, man. And again, it's not like he came from a bum organization. He came from a Philadelphia team. You know, we traded a draft pick for him too. So that tells me Goody was thought pretty highly of him. Like, hopefully we get him back in the offseason too, man. We can get him a decent contract and get him back in-house if we don't break the bank. But, yeah, man, that's just – I don't know. It seems like everybody kind of agrees there, right? Holmes says, I would be cool with that trial, Clay, but I'm sure they don't have it. I'm sure they've done it in practice. That's a great point. That's a great point. It's just like the kicker situation, right? Like everybody was hollering, play Haversick. Why are they not playing Haversick? And, you know, as I can't remember who it was. It might have been Bill Huber or whatever. It was like, guys are watching him in practice every day. They're putting the best kicker out there. We kind of seen it yesterday. Haversick shanked a couple. Crazy win, though, so it's not a true assessment, but similar situation there. So Coach Lynn says Ryan was solid, I thought. I didn't feel like he was horrible, but there was a couple times he did get beat. Are we seeing him? Oh, he's down
he's down there. Yikes.
55.6. Pass block grade of 16.6. I do know this. Dexter Lawrence, there was a couple times Jordan Love was running for his life, and Dexter Lawrence plays one tech, right? So
yep. And Sean Ryan, this is his first full-fledged start at center, correct?
Very true. And you look up and go, damn, I got to block this guy. This guy got to
block this guy. It's a windstorm. Yeah, we're playing on the lovely surface in New Jersey. I'm willing to give him another crack at it against the Vikings this weekend and see how he looks in the friendly confines of 1265 Lombardi Avenue. I think to your point about Zach Tom at center, like I said, I've always wanted to see that. But I feel like if we have to put him there, we've really got issues on this O-line if we got to move Tom to center.
Yeah, Jen Wright says Kennard, good run block, pass protection, not so much. Amen. That seems to be what the consensus is anyway. So moving along, let's go back to some of the positives here. We talked about Kennard. Chris Brooks, only 5 snaps, 75.2. Obviously, pass blocking grade, 78.4. We highlighted that. Zach Tom, 52 snaps. I know there were some people that thought he played far fewer snaps than that. That's still a ton of snaps, right?
Yep.
All but 3. So he just missed 3 snaps, looks like. 72.4 was his grade. So even battling an injury in game, still had a great day. Bo Melton, only 2 snaps, but a 70.2. Matthew Golden, boys, 70.0 on 19 snaps. Let's freaking go. So he's up to a 67 now on the year. Remember what we always said? Rookie season, if you grade 60 or higher, pretty good indicator you're going to be a good football player. He's getting closer to 70, which is going to be in that Scoot rookie year range, right? Once you start to break in the 70s, you start thinking Jaden Reed. You start thinking Dontavion Wicks, although he's taking a step back, but Christian Watson as well. We got us one in Golden. I've seen enough to know this dude can catch the ball. He can run routes. He's quick as all get out. We just got to get him in the right situations to get him the football. And I love the fact that they're not forcing it. Don't force it. Yeah. Take what the defense gives you. So,
it's all over the tape, man. We just, as fans, we have to just be patient with MG. It's coming. It's definitely coming.
Yeah, and this is the general consensus here. Chris Cashman, not enough snaps for Golden. Amen. It's not so much about force the targets. You want to get them on the field more.
You want the reps. Yeah, you want them out there.
But who do you take off the field? Because what Matt's doing is he's playing the analytics, and across the league, the EPA, the passing EPA out of 12 and 13 personnel is extremely high right now. That seems to be the consensus across the league, and it's a copycat league. So I think he's trying to press more into 12 and 13 looks. And in some cases, you'll see on Chalk Talk tomorrow, you'll hear me call out Y70, where they put Kennard in as the Y tight end and still had, whether it was Fitzpatrick or Wiley playing U. So you're going to kind of like the U71 Bacon back in the day with our boy, gosh, what was his name? Kevin Berry under the Mike Sherman regime. So similar approach with how they're using Kennard. Really, really like that they're finding a way to get him in the lineup. So I don't know. I like the idea of Kennard getting more snaps, and maybe they see it the same way, especially when Tucker goes out. Okay, let's get our best 11 on the field, and Kennard's one of those best 11. Maybe that's the case.
We haven't really seen those heavy looks until Tuck Norris hit the IR, right? So we got to go forward. We can't look back. We got to go forward, and Kennard's got to roll on this team. No bones about it. He's got to roll on this team, and I'm here for it. I like it. I really do.
Yeah. J. Cole said, thought Clayton was about to say Kevin Bacon. About to sing Footloose in here. You know what I'm saying? Chris says, 3+ wideout sets, please. I love 11 personnel too, Chris. But again, man, I just got to – not that you need to do this. I'm not telling you how to fan, but I got to check my ego at the door and be like, okay, there's a reason they're truly trying to press into 12. I'm just trying to understand why. And I've been told, the analytics are showing it's easier to pass out of 12. It's more effective to pass out of 12 and 13 because you're forcing those heavier defensive packages, right? And that's where teams might need to get away from trying to match personnel. They're talking about, like in the 90s, first down, they didn't go, how many running backs and tight ends do they have out there? They just said first down, send our base package out, send our 4-3 or a 3-4, right?
Yep.
Second down, if it's second and long, then maybe we get into our sub package. It wasn't until the late 2000s, early 2010s that sub packages became kind of your new base defense, right? And what I mean by sub packages is like for us, we run a 4-3 base instead of a 4-3, four defensive linemen, 3 linebackers. We go nickel 4-2-5, where it's 4 defensive linemen, 2 linebackers. You get that extra DB in there. So it's just everybody's kind of waiting, like who's going to be the first team to truly press into, hey, let's go a different approach here. And kind of go back to how they did things in the 90s and just play it by down and distance as opposed to matching personnel. So, but I know what you mean, Chris. I like 3 wide out sets too, man. I just don't – there's a reason they're doing it, So I'm trying to let that play out. Emmanuel Wilson, though, 39 snaps, 67.6. We talked about him. Josh Jacobs, only 12 snaps, 67.1. Jordan Morgan, Tim, 55 snaps, 66.2. All right.
Here's a guy playing on the right side of the line.
So he's 56.2 on the season. Right. His floor this year, 34.8. That's cheeks. That's way below the floor. That's in the basement. Right. But his ceiling has been at 83.5. He's hanging out right there in the upper 50s, lower 60s type thing, averaging out at 56.2. So maybe he could put it together. He's actually taken a step back this year in terms of PFF grade. And again, it's hard for me to judge him until they put him on the left side.
I was just going to say he's playing left and right guard pretty damn good for a guy who's a left tackle.
Yeah, and again, Rasheed Walker, guys, probably not going to be here next year. You guys can clip this and maybe we'll look back on it at the end of the year and go, nope, he's here, right? But I don't know, man. I kind of feel like he's going to get a contract similar to Romeo. If he hits the open market, they're probably going to price him out of the Packers range, and we'll end up getting a comp pick or 2 for that collection of players, depending on what we do in free agency too. So I don't know, man. I would like to see Jordan Morgan kick out the left tackle next year. If that happens, let's say Rasheed Walker walks in free agency, right? We're getting ready to wrap up. I know we got football kicking off. Actually, they already started, so we got the Cowboys and the Raiders tonight. And somebody said here in the chat, Ben Avery said, rest in peace, Marshawn Nealon. Amen to that, man. It's such a tragedy there. So obviously,
a lot of the tributes today from across the league, man. A lot of respect, and I'm glad you brought that up. Thanks, Ben.
Yeah,
rest in
definitely.
peace. Gone too soon, man, for sure. 24 years old, man. R.I.P. Marshawn.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's just it's so sad, dude. But in terms of the offensive line, it's hard to get back on track. I just want to end the show, to be honest with you. It sucks so bad, man, the family and everything that's involved there. With the offensive line, if Rasheed Walker walks in free agency, no pun intended, all right? And now you've got to decide who's your left tackle. Now, they may draft one in the first round. It may fall perfect on the board. That's the best player available. There's your left tackle of the future from day one. But let's say they don't draft anyone in the first 3 rounds to play offensive line. What I would do is I would move on from Elton Jenkins, right? I would try to bring Kennard back. This is just how I'm seeing it right now. I try to bring Kennard back. I would move Jordan Morgan to left tackle, okay? I would put Tom at center. I would probably bring Banks back at left guard. I wouldn't cut ties yet because you could save more money after cutting him after the second year too. So it's not like you got to cut him after the first year or you're screwed, right? You save more money the longer you wait to cut him too, in terms of cap penalty. But Kennard at right tackle, Tom at center, Jordan Morgan at left tackle, Banks at left guard, and then you go find your right guard. Hopefully that's Anthony Belton. Now here's another thing that could happen.
Belton could be your right tackle too, though.
I think that's their plan is Belton right tackle. But here's another crazy thing, Tim. What if they move on from Aaron Banks? You now can stay with me here. This is going to be really, really confusing. Okay, scratch everything we just said. Now imagine if Anthony Belton's your right tackle. Okay, so you're going to go that route, right? And then, or no, forget that. Anthony Belton played college ball left tackle his entire career. What if they put Anthony Belton at left tackle, kept Zach Tom at right tackle, right? They move on from Aaron Banks. They move Jordan Morgan to left guard or vice versa with Belton, right? And then go out and draft a center. Go get the best center in the draft or maybe sign somebody in free agency. That could be another play that they could make too, right? If you're of the opinion of, no, I want Zach Tom to stay at right tackle because of all the money. Because, again, I don't think that's a stupid argument. We're just kind of spitballing, troubleshooting on the fly. There's a lot of different options. I don't see Rasheed Walker being here long term unless he's willing to take a team friendly deal. I think he's going to get a lot of money on free agent markets. So we'll see though. And if he does, you know how good he loves his picks. It might as well be a trade, right? You're going to get comp picks. So yeah,
exactly. Where, by the way, where's Sheed on this list?
That's a great question. Rasheed Walker, 56.3 had a rough day. Looks like. 50 pass blocking grade, 57 run blocking grade. He also had a penalty there. A key hold. I know I had it charted here. That's
okay. We'll take that. Save QB1. We'll take the hold.
The problem was
I'm tired of seeing Jordan getting picked up off the turf, man. I'll take a holding penalty.
The problem was I got my chart here. Let me see. Give me just a second here. Where's it at? Rasheed Walker. I know I had a negative mark there.
Unless, of course, it was a hold on a run play, then there's no excuse for that.
I thought I had it. Maybe I didn't have it there, but I'm pretty sure it negated a big play too. Holding Rasheed Walker. I didn't mark down what the result was. I'm pretty sure that was a big play that got wiped off the slate. I say big play. It might have been 8 yards. It might have been 12 yards, something like that. So,
Jason, why? Hard to argue with the logic. You know, we overpay for great, not overpay for good. I think Rasheed Walker's really good. I don't know if he's playing great. I think that's a fair point, Jason. I agree.
Yeah. Spot on. Rasheed Walker is good, not great. And
great dude, though. Great as a human being, by the way. Rasheed, very active in the community up here in Green Bay, does a lot of charity work. Great dude. We're talking strictly as a football player, right?
Yeah. And Chester says Walker will get overpaid. He will. When he hits the market, somebody will go, hey, look, that dude played left tackle for Green Bay, protecting Jordan's blind side. He's played good enough. He's way better than our left tackle. Let's overpay so we can get him in-house. That'll happen. And maybe they feel like they can get more out of him. And maybe they can, right? Because I think some people will believe our offensive line has underperformed, for the, whatever, the amount of time here recently that we've watched them go out there. So that's pretty much it, guys. Luke Musgrave, I don't want to pile on too much. The snap count says everything. They only gave him 19 snaps. They're seeing it the same way we are. I know Matt said today, Coach LaFleur said that they're going to get him more involved, that he wants him to be more involved rather than just 19 snaps. But again, show me your checkbook, your checkbook and your calendar, and that'll tell me what's most important in your life. You want to know who you think the most of on this team. It's the ones that are out there on the field, and you're scheming to get them out there on the field, right? So Musgrave a 28.4, John Fitzpatrick a 54.3, and Josh Wiley is 60.7. So Wiley is slowly creeping up there. Although John Fitzpatrick 35 snaps, Josh Wiley 20 snaps, Luke Musgrave 19. So I would just love for them to let Musgrave get out there with the receivers a little bit, and see if he can be kind of a hybrid. But you don't want to try to change your offense to go, okay,
right.
we want to gear this around Musgrave playing receiver. It's it sucks, man. I like Musgrave as a person. I think he's a hard worker. He's tougher than nails. I don't care what anybody says, man. That dude finished a damn ball game with internal bleeding. But it just ain't working, man. Like 2-0 for this said he fumbled twice yesterday. It's just to me, it seems like he's pressing, right? He's pressing too hard. And that's the problem with getting drafted over the guy that's drafted after you, and then that dude overperforming in Tucker Kraft, right? Kind of puts more pressure on you to try to perform at a different level. So it is what it is. But anyway, there's your offensive PFF grades. What we'll do tomorrow, gang, we'll highlight the defensive PFF grades. I will make a note here, okay? And we'll definitely get into the defensive side of the PFF grades. We just ran out of time because, again, this was just an extension of Victory Monday. This is a fun episode. Appreciate it. We had a bunch of people watching. Thanks to everybody for all the support. Been getting a lot of messages here lately, DMs and stuff. And just thank y'all so much, man, for the support. It's humbling. It is. And shout out to everybody in our Patreon group. If you guys want to support the show, that's the best way to do so is to join patreon.com/Packer Fan Total Access. If you're wondering why you got a Patreon group, for the longest time, I had people message me going, how can we support? How can we support? I was like, I don't know what the hell to do here. You want to send me a check? Like, I don't know. I'm new at this. I'm just a football fan. So somebody said, you ought to create a Patreon group. I said, what's that? They said, so you can just literally set up an account. People can send you money. Okay, cool. So it sat forever. And now we're trying to create content over there and create a little community. So we've got multiple chats you can dive into and talk with each other in there. The game day chat kind of lights up. And we get all of our draft information. Anything you see on the show during draft season, we'll put those articles up and breakdowns. And you can actually still go in there and look at every draft pick we made this year. You can look at every draft profile. We created a profile all the way from high school through college into the combine and everything. And you can kind of go look. It's really cool to go back and look too, because you're seeing what we've seen on the college tape, what we've seen in the scouting reports and all the breakdowns all the way back to high school coming out of people like Savion and Matthew Golden and some of these guys. So it's a lot of fun. But anyway, appreciate everybody hanging out tonight. Tim, thank you for your time. We'll be back tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central for PTA Live. It's going to be Chalk Talk. We got 16 plays ready for you guys and gals. It's going to be an absolute blast, reliving the most important plays of that win over the New York Giants, like this one right here. Jordan Love was just on.
That'll be on Chalk Talk, baby. Let's go.
I like to think that patch on his elbow is actually a Nicorette patch, right? My man trying to put the lung dart down. He picked up a bad habit from Tucker Kraft out there ice fishing or something. Did you see Jordan out there ice fishing with Tucker Kraft? I just can't see it.
I don't know. Maybe. You never know.
It's a California kid, man. I bet. But he's like, Tucker, you have fun out there. But
maybe in the summertime he's out there fishing, but I don't know about ice fishing though.
Exactly. So Nicorette, man, I ain't heard that in forever. I don't know why that just popped up. Lord have mercy. You guys are going, what's that? The youngins are. That was a patch that was created to help people stop smoking. Failed miserably. So, anyway, that's it. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Thank y'all so much for the support. Hit like, subscribe, click that bell icon so you're notified when we go live in the future. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Everybody have a wonderful evening. Bye.
There we go.
Bye, guys.